Welcome to What Are You Sporting About podcast, a podcast about business, employment, sports, and entertainment to help educate, support, and guide you to your next level. Here's your host, attorney Sivonnia DeBarros.
Hello, everybody. I am Sivonnia DeBarros, the protector of athletes. And today I'm so excited to talk to you guys because this is the first time we're coming back to our normal programming around What Are You Sporting About podcast. Look, before I get started, I want to invite you right now to get access to the NIL Combine. Man, look. When we launched this combine this past July, it was so powerful. People received so many different nuggets that help them to transform where they are to where they need to be so they can achieve the things that they desire, right? And so if you are a student athlete, an entrepreneur, a parent of a student athlete, you need to get the access to the NIL Combine. Get the all access pass now. You can do that by going to bit.ly NIL combine all access so that you can be educated, supported, and motivated to your very next level. There's so many different nuggets that were dropped around legal, trademarking, making sure that that you get your domain name so other people don't try to level you up in a way of asking, okay, let me get thousands of dollars because now you've blown up into this huge brand, right? So go ahead and get your stuff in order now. There are people who had transformed ideas around social media and some of the tools that they can use to build their brands and understanding how to create a niche so that they can be the go-to obvious choice and answer into the marketplace. This is something that you don't want to miss, guys. I'm telling you. Get your access now, bit.ly /NIL combine all access. That is all caps. Go ahead now and make sure you have time to pay attention because you are not going to want to miss all of the nuggets that were dropped in that, okay? I'm telling you. So look, today I'm so excited to talk to you because there's something that I experienced over the weekend. And all I could hear in my head was, whoa, right? The power or destruction of messaging. How important it is to get the right messaging and how destructive it can be if we don't get the right messaging. Okay? So stay with me for a minute. Because what I want to talk with you about today is what we tell ourselves and feed ourselves and the way that we grew up can either catapult us into an entirely different dimension of success, or it could be the thing that holds us back from it. The only thing is, though, is that you have to recognize when you are in a cycle, what I would call like the abyss, right, of negative messaging to the point that you don't know, but it stifles your growth. It stifles your financial growth. It stifles your success, right? So we have to be cognizant around whether the messaging that we have, is it powerful messaging to catapult us into the next level of our life, or is it destructive in the sense that we're going to constantly stay in this cycle of never really achieving? Right? We're going to do all the things, but we can never really achieve because we have this negative messaging over and over again. So I want to share a story with you guys because over the weekend I was around a group of kids, and they were, let's just say, like early teenage years, maybe 12, 13 or something like that. And they were discussing prices, and one of the kids said, oh, well, that's too expensive. That's too much. We're not going to be able to get that. I immediately stopped them and said, what do you mean? That's not expensive. And I had a conversation around wealth with these kids. Now, these kids are my little nephews, right? But I immediately stopped them. And it made me think about the messaging that I grew up around, right? When you grow up in a household or a family who may be struggling financially, putting food on the table was more important than you getting your favorite shoes or something that you wanted. So your parents had to choose between, am I going to feed you and take care of you, right? Or am I going to get you something that you don't really need? You just want it. And so when you grow up in a dynamic like that, wants and needs are very clear. It is clearly defined, and you are obviously most of the time are never going to get what you want, but you're definitely going to get what you need, right? But here's the issue that happens when you grow up in environments or families that way is not only is the messaging, clearly delineated between that's not a need, that's a want, but it's also we can't afford that or that's too much. And then at some point, the child begins to regurgitate that same type of communication. It starts to get embedded into their minds. Here's the thing, kids shouldn't even have to worry or even think about whether something is too expensive or not. That shouldn't even be their dilemma. And so we have to change the way that we create the messaging, not just for ourselves, but the people who are around us. I realized, just taking that example, I realized that as we grow up, we have to keep challenging the things that we play in our heads over and over again that we thought was okay to say, we thought was okay to do, but turns out it could be something that is holding you back from your own greatness. When I heard those kids talking, I realized, I said, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I realized for me, it was like I was in a looking glass into my childhood, right? If something is too expensive, and I think it's too expensive on financially, would I take the leap to invest into something? Now, don't get me wrong. I've done a lot of growing. I've invested into myself a lot. I've spent a lot of money just investing into myself. But at every stage, it took me having to break down those walls around the messaging that I had grown up around, right? And I'm not just saying throw money into this black abyss and just, see what happens. And no, that's not what I'm saying at all. But think about the messaging of, whether someone is beautiful or not. I'm sure if you have siblings, everyone is picked on each other, right? I had to break out of certain messaging around, my athleticism, or I was too strong, or, I had the appearance of a man or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many different types of messaging that will hold us back, and we end up moving ourselves further into life, not dealing with those issues. And then it travels and it comes with us everywhere we go, right? We have to get to the root of whatever the problem is, because that messaging, like I said, it can either be a powerful message where it helps you to really advance in your life and your career, or it can be something that's on the deep side, is so deeply rooted that we haven't dealt with, we haven't gotten back to the core of what that problem was, and now it's hurting us. And sometimes we don't even know that that's what it is until we decide to take the blinders off and really look at, oh my God, this is what I've been dealing with for however many years. This is why I can't get to the next level, because I haven't even resolved this issue, right? Because whether we speak it out or not, sometimes just tell the truth, right? Tell the truth. Whether you speak something out loud or not, maybe sometimes you will automatically think the negative option of whatever issue may be happening. Oh, well, I can't do that. Oh, well, I can't invest in that because that's just going to be way too much. It's the messaging that has been rooted in us that we have to cut off. We have to go back in and do that deep work to figure out what happened. Why do I think this way? Right? What would happen if I ventured out and did something different? Or if I told myself something different? what would happen? What is the greatness that I would receive? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to be careful, guys, because the power of messaging, whether it's good or bad, is that it travels and it goes from generation to generation to generation. And if you end up being part of a generation that has been told that you can't have something or you can't do something just because our people don't do that, right? Or our people just don't have it like that, and then you start telling your kids that, and it just go and it go and it go until there's someone who's willing to break that cycle. One thing I realized, and I'm sitting over the past weekend or whatever, I'm sitting, my husband and I and our kid, and he's just like in his own world and just doing his own little thing, but he has no care. He's enjoying life, which he should. And I realize how we are breaking those barriers and that negative messaging around whether we can or cannot do something, whether we can or cannot have something, whether something is too expensive or not. Like, that is not the messaging that happens in our household. And so what I want to encourage you with today is to know that you have the power to rewrite your own story. You have the power to create the messaging for yourself and for those who come after you. For those who come after you. Those are the people who are around you. Those are your children if you have some or if you want some, right? Those are the kids who look up to you. We have to be cognizant about the words that come out of our mouths. And if you believe in the Bible, I do, words truly have power. And so when we speak things, we are speaking it into the universe. Make your words count. Make your words count, because if you don't, it will count you out. It will count you out. And sometimes when we speak things, right, when we speak certain things into our own lives, it has its own power to manifest. So what you have to do is you have to cut that stuff off, cut that negative stuff off immediately. Cut it off immediately. But you have the power to rewrite your story. You have the power to set your messaging into a way that can be a powerful vehicle for your future and the future of other people. And one way you can do that is definitely getting this all access pass to the NIL Combine, because we talked a lot about positive messaging, about making sure that you're putting yourself in the position to win, that you have the right team around you, the people who are around you to rally you, to motivate you, to support you, even when things are difficult. And the way that you can get access to this is going to the bit.ly/NIL Combine dash all access. It's all caps. Go ahead and get your access right now. Do not miss out on this, guys. And like I said, I'm encouraging you right now. If there's anything that you could do to immediately implement this, what I want you to do is get out a sheet of paper. Write down all the negative things that you grew up around. Like, what was the negative messaging that was said? What could you have and not have, and why? And now on a different sheet of paper, how are you rewriting that story? How are you going to change that negative messaging into something positive? And what will you do when you start to speak or think something that is rooted in that negative messaging? I want you to do that work now. Implement that. Implement it in your life now, and you will see a major change in your life, in your success, in your business success. All right, guys. I'm Sivonnia DeBarros, protector of athletes. And as always, it is my sincere pleasure to educate you, motivate you, and support you to your very next level. Until next time, I'll check you guys later. Ciao.
Joining us this week on What Are You Sporting About podcast. Make sure to visit our website, prosportlawyer.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever your favorite platform is, so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or iHeartRadio. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you like the show, you might want to check out our book, what are you sporting about? Attorney Sivonnia DeBarros is available for private consulting at sldebarros.com. And remember, we're here to educate, support, and guide you in your journey to success because we're all sporting about something.